Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror and felt a pang, like time's been sneaking away with pieces of you? That face looking back, it's not quite the one you picture in your mind from years ago. Life seems to zip by faster now, old friends drift into new chapters, and the body you used to count on feels more like a distant acquaintance. Aging is a wild ride, full of ups and downs, and if we're being real, it can sometimes feel like you're trudging through mud with no end in sight. But what if I told you the fight isn't really with aging itself, but with how we push back against it? The Buddha had this idea that pain creeps in when we try to stop life from flowing the way it's meant to. Everything changes, that's just how it is, a truth called impermanence, and it's not something to run from. In fact, it's what sets us free. We waste so much energy gripping tight to the past, trying to lock moments in place, desperate to keep things just as they were. But what if growing older wasn't a thief in the night, but a guest we could welcome with open arms? Today I've got 5 deep Buddhist lessons about aging to share, little nuggets of wisdom that might just turn your whole view of it upside down. These aren't gloomy truths to drag you down, they're strong, uplifting, and honestly kind of beautiful when you let them sink in. If you really lean into them, aging stops being about what you've lost and starts feeling like a door swinging wide open to something bigger, fuller, and more meaningful. So hang with me here, because what you're about to hear could shift how you see the years ahead, and maybe even make them a little brighter. People will forget you quicker than you'd hope, and that's just fine. Here's something that might hit you hard at first. The world will move on from you faster than you think. That job you worked your tail off for, the cozy home you fixed up just right, the tales you told around the dinner table, they'll all start to blur in folks' minds as time marches on. It's a tough one to chew on. We pour our hearts into building a life, thinking what we've done will stick around, etched somewhere permanent. But the clock keeps ticking. Your kids get wrapped up in raising their own kids, your buddies have their own stuff going on, and before long the spotlight shifts elsewhere. It can feel like a punch to the gut, like all that effort might not matter as much as you hoped. But Buddhism has a way of softening that blow with a pretty comforting spin. The Buddha talked about no self, this notion that the idea of a solid, forever me is just a trick our minds play. Picture it like leaves blowing across your yard. They swirl around for a bit, then they're gone, but the yard's still there doing its thing. The point isn't to have your name carved on some monument. It's to soak up every second you've got while you're here. Let me tell you a story that brings this home. There was this old gal named Edith who ran a little bakery in town. She'd been at it for decades, whipping up the best apple pies you ever tasted, crust so flaky it'd melt in your mouth. People came from all over just to grab a slice and chat with her about their troubles. She'd listen, nod, and send them off with a warm pie and a warmer smile. One afternoon, her grandson stopped by and asked, "Grandma, doesn't it bug you that someday folks might not remember your pies, or even who you were?" Edith chuckled, slid a fresh pie into the oven, and said, "Honey, this pie's doing its job right now, feeding folks and making them happy. I don't need it to be famous tomorrow, it's enough that it's here today." See what she's getting at? It's not about folks reciting your name years from now. Think about it. Can you name every person who's ever made your day a little better? Probably not. But that cashier who let you cut in line when you were rushed, or the friend who brought soup when you were sick, they're still with you even if their names slip away. So don't sweat being forgotten. Put your energy into what's in front of you. Be good to people, show up for the moment, let your kindness spread like dandelion seeds in the wind. Aging isn't about clawing your way into the history books. It's about making today matter. When your time's up, you can rest easy, knowing your life sprinkled a little light on others, whether they remember your name or not. Your body's going to change on you, so get cozy with it. Back in the day, you could lug a lawn chair up the hill for a picnic without blinking. Now just shuffling to the porch swing leaves your back grumbling. That body you used to lean on without a second thought moves a bit slower these days, creaking and groaning like an old rocking chair, letting you know it's not the spry thing it once was. It's easy to feel let down by that. But the Buddha would say it's all part of the deal, nothing to get mad about. Just like the seasons shift and the trees drop their leaves come fall, our bodies ease into their own changes over time. The real snag isn't that we're getting older, it's that we keep wishing we could turn back the dial. We sit around missing the days when we could chase the grandkids around the yard or haul firewood without a twinge, fighting tooth and nail against what's bound to happen. That's where the hurt settles in, right in that tug of war with the inevitable. The trick to feeling at ease isn't about forcing your body to act 30 again. It's about rolling with it, gentle and steady. Try looking at your body like this. It's not turning on you, it's been your ride or die buddy all along. It's hauled you through every adventure. Those long walks with your sweetheart when you were young, the sleepless nights rocking a fussy baby, that summer you decided to repaint the shed in a heat wave. It's patched itself up after flu seasons, kept chugging through late-night card games, and bent over backwards to keep up with you. So why fuss at it for slowing down now? Why not give it a pat on the back for all it's done? Aging isn't about clawing your way back to youth, it's about tending to yourself right where you are. Take it easy on those morning walks, savor a good bowl of soup, nap when your eyes get heavy. Treat your body like that trusty old recliner you've had forever, not some rusty jalopy breaking down. Be thankful it can still shuffle you out to watch the sunrise or wrap an arm around someone you love, instead of stewing over what it can't do anymore. Have you ever felt like you're no longer the center of attention the way you once were? There was a time when you might have been the go-to person for advice, the heartbeat of your family or circle of friends. But as the years roll by, things shift. Your kids grow up and get busy with their own lives, new faces take your place at work, and the folks who once leaned on you now have their own paths to follow. It can leave you feeling sidelined, like maybe you don't matter as much anymore. But the Buddha talked about no self. This idea that the me we cling to so tightly is really just a passing shadow. We're not the hub of the universe, and that doesn't make us less. When you let go of needing everyone to notice or praise you, you'll find a quiet peace, like shrugging off a heavy coat you didn't even know you were wearing. Let me share a story that gets at this. There was an old guy named George who used to be the best mechanic in his small town. Back in the day, anyone with a clunking engine would swing by his shop, and he'd fix it while swapping stories about life. But as he got older, he hung up his tools, and soon enough, folks stopped dropping by. One day his grandson came over and asked, "Grandpa, doesn't it bother you that no one talks about how great you were with cars anymore?" George chuckled, grabbed a broom to sweep the garage, and said, "Kid, I fixed those cars to help folks get around, not to have them sing my praises forever. Now I sweep this floor for me, and that's plenty." What he's saying is clear. Your worth isn't tied to people remembering you. You're still you, still valuable, just in a softer, quieter way. When you stop trying to steer how others see you, your heart opens up and you feel freer than ever. Death isn't the enemy, it's a wise reminder. Let's be real, thinking about death can make anyone's stomach twist. We shove it to the back of our minds, pretending it's not there. But the truth is, it's coming for all of us. The Buddha taught that everything's impermanent. What begins must end, it's just the rhythm of life. Instead of dreading it, we can let death be our teacher, nudging us to live with more heart. Take Mrs. Ellen, an old lady who used to sell flowers at the farmer's market. She'd wheel her cart out every weekend, rain or shine, always with a grin. One winter she got real sick, thought she wouldn't pull through. But when she came to, she told her daughter, "Sweetie, I almost didn't make it this time, and it hit me. Life's too short. From now on, I'm just gonna smile at folks, sell my flowers, and not sweat the small stuff." After that, she lived lighter, and everyone loved her for it. Death didn't take her, it showed her how to cherish every day she had left. If you only had a month to go, what would you do different? Would you still grumble about the leaky faucet or the loud neighbors? Or would you call up an old friend, sit on the porch with a cup of coffee, really soak in the little things? Knowing death could knock any time pushes you to live fuller, love harder, and let go of the nonsense that doesn't matter. Letting go is the secret to feeling light. We grow up thinking happiness comes from grabbing hold of something big, a steady job, a happy home, a strong body. But as time ticks on, we see nothing stays put. If we clutch the past too tight, we end up aching. If we fret about tomorrow, we're on edge. Real happiness comes when you learn to loosen your grip and take today as it is. Here's a story about old Tom, who used to fish for a living. One morning, he hauled in a net bursting with fish, but a storm rolled in, flipped his boat, and he lost it all. He trudged home, sat staring at the water, silent. His son, worried, asked, "Dad, aren't you upset about losing all those fish?" Tom gave a small smile and said, "Upset won't bring him back. The fish are gone, but I'm still here watching the waves. Tomorrow, I'll head out again and start over." He got it. Hanging on to regret just weighs you down. We do it too, lugging around old hurts, what ifs, or worries about what's next. But when you learn to let go, like dropping a pebble into a stream, your whole self feels lighter, free in a way you didn't expect. Aging isn't a string of losses, it's a chance to uncover something deeper. When you stop fighting it, you spot the beauty in every shift. These Buddhist lessons aren't empty comfort, they're solid truths that help you live loose, calm, and whole. So don't see growing old as a battle. Think of it as a long walk. Each day's a shot to care, learn, and leave a little goodness in life's big river. But you can still share kindness with the world. Instead of seeing your aging body as something that's let you down, try thinking of it as a loyal old friend who's been by your side through thick and thin. This body of yours has been your companion, your ride, your shield. It's earned your respect, your care, and a good dose of patience. So what can you do? Tune in to what it's telling you instead of pushing back. If it's begging for a break, let it rest. Maybe swap that long walk for a sit down with a cup of tea. If moving around gets tougher, find gentler ways to stay active, like stretching in the garden or strolling to the mailbox. If it's creaking and aching, treat it with kindness. Grab a heating pad or a warm bath, not a frustrated sigh. It's not turning against you, it's just changing like everything else in life. And here's the big one. Don't let your age stop you from living fully. A body that's slowing down doesn't mean your spirit has to. As long as you're breathing, you've got purpose. Think of folks like Betty down the street. She's 85, moves with a cane, but her eyes sparkle with wisdom when she shares stories from her nursing days. Or old Jim at the pub, who doesn't look a day under 90 but radiates calm as he chats about his fishing trips. They've made peace with the years and it's freed them up to just be. You can walk that path too. Make friends with your body. Thank it for hauling you through decades of life, raising kids, dancing at weddings, or mowing the lawn, and keep going with grace and ease. You can't hold on to everyone in your life, and that's perfectly natural. As you get older, you'll notice something that stings a little. People drift away. Friends you used to see every week at bingo or the diner start fading into the background. Family who once rang you up daily now just pop in for quick hellos. Some vanish without a word, leaving quiet where there used to be chatter and laughter. It's tempting to wonder, did I mess up somehow? Or wasn't I enough? But Buddhism has a take on this. Everything's temporary, even the people we love. They come into our lives when we need them, or when they need us, and move on when their part in our story's done. It's like the seasons turning. Spring blooms give way to autumn leaves, and the folks in our lives shift too. Here's a story to chew on. There was this guy, Frank, who used to coach Little League back in the 70s. Every kid in town knew him, parents too. He'd spend Saturdays teaching swings and Sundays grilling hot dogs for the team. Years later, retired and gray, he sat on his porch one day when a young dad walked by with his own kid. The guy stopped and asked, "Coach Frank, don't you miss the days when everyone knew your name?" Frank smiled, tossed a pebble into his yard, and said, "Those kids grew up, moved on, same as that pebble rolling down the hill. They don't need to shout my name for me to know those summers mattered." The point? Loving someone doesn't mean keeping them close forever. Instead of clinging to what's gone, cherish who's still here. Ever run into an old pal at the grocery store after years apart and pick up right where you left off? That's because the real connection doesn't fade. It's tucked inside you no matter the miles or time. People who step out of your life don't take the good stuff with them. The laughs over coffee, the late night talks, the way they shaped you, that stays even when they're gone. Aging shows you relationships ebb and flow. Some fade slow like a sunset, others end quick like a summer storm. Each one meant something when it was there. And don't forget this, even if someone's not around, the love you shared doesn't vanish, it's woven into who you are now. Celebrate the ties that stick around. The friend who still calls to check in, the neighbor who waves from across the fence, the grandkid who sits wide-eyed while you spin tales about the old days. Most of all, don't shut your heart to new folks. No matter how many candles are on your cake, life's always got a chance for a fresh hello. Maybe a chatty cashier at the drugstore or a new face at the community center. Let go with peace, treasure what was, be grateful for what is, and stay open to what's coming. That's the wise way to roll. For you've got to accept you're not young anymore, and that's a blessing. There'll come a moment when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the bathroom mirror and realize, this isn't the face you hold on to in your memories. Your skin's softer now, maybe a little looser, your hair's gone grayer, and your hands look thinner, more delicate than they used to. Society's always telling us to fight it. Slather on the wrinkle creams, dye that hair, chase youth like it's a race we can win. But what if we flip the script? Buddhism says real beauty isn't about a flawless complexion. It's in the wisdom you've earned, the way you show up, and the kindness you carry. Those lines on your face? They're not flaws, they're a roadmap of a life well lived. That silver hair? It's not something to hide, it's a crown you've earned through years of experience. Here's a little story to think about. There was an older lady named Margaret who went to see a wise pastor known around town for his insight. She sat down, her face heavy, and said, "Pastor, I look in the mirror these days and barely recognize myself. My looks are fading, gray hair, wrinkles everywhere. I feel like I'm disappearing." He gave her a warm smile and took her out to his backyard. He pointed to a rosebush bursting with bright blooms and asked, "Pretty, right?" She nodded. Then he led her over to an old oak tree, rough bark, gnarled branches twisted by decades of wind and rain. "What about this?" he asked. She hesitated. "It's different, but there's something grand about it, something solid." The pastor chuckled. "That's because you've got wisdom now. Kids only see beauty in the roses, but with time, you learn to love the oak too." Margaret got it. Her beauty hadn't vanished, it had transformed. Think about the older folks you look up to. They're not stunning because they've dodged aging. They shine with a quiet dignity, a warmth, a knowing that only comes with time. It's the light in their eyes when they talk, the patience they show when they listen, the softness in their voice. That's what beauty really looks like. Let go of the idea that beauty fades. It doesn't, it just shifts into something new. In these later years, your beauty shows up in the way you're present for others, the steady strength you've built, the kindness you pour out into the world. Aging isn't a fight to claw your way through, it's a journey to step into. Imagine this: every wrinkle's a story you've lived, every gray hair a lesson you've tucked away. What if we celebrated the smarts we've picked up instead of pining for the days we left behind? You'd see a glow that only time can give you, the confidence of knowing who you are deep down, the toughness from weathering life's storms, the gentleness that comes from understanding and forgiving folks along the way. No face cream or hair dye can whip that up. Next time you're staring in the mirror, feeling a twinge for what's gone, pause. Look closer. See the life you've lived, the love you've given, the wisdom you've gathered. Wear your years like a cozy sweater knit from all you've been through, with a touch of grace stitched in. Because true beauty isn't behind you, it's right there, alive in you today. You'll watch loved ones leave, but love never fades. As the years pile up, you'll face more goodbyes than you'd ever want. Your parents, siblings, friends, maybe even your kids. One by one, they slip out of this world, and nothing can brace you for that kind of ache. Losing someone close isn't something you just get over. It's something you learn to carry, like an old, familiar jacket that's heavy but still part of you. Buddhism, though, offers a comforting truth. Love doesn't die. The people you've lost? They're still with you, in the lessons they taught, the stories they shared, the warmth they gave. Every time you say their name, pass on their advice, or show the kindness they showed you, they're right there walking alongside you. Picture this. My neighbor Clara lost her husband Ed a few years back. He was the guy who'd fix anyone's leaky faucet and crack corny jokes while he was at it. After he passed, Clara started volunteering at the community center, fixing little things for folks who couldn't. She'd say, "Ed's still tinkering through me. He's gone, but his spirit's alive in every screwdriver she picks up." There's an old Buddhist tale about a woman named Mary, not her real name, but let's call her that. She lost her little girl and was wrecked, wandering the neighborhood, begging anyone for a miracle to bring her back. She ended up at a wise teacher's doorstep. He told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from a house that's never known death." Off she went, knocking on doors. But every home had a story, a grandparent gone, a sibling lost, a friend taken too soon. By the end, Mary saw she wasn't alone in her grief. When she went back to the teacher, it clicked. Pain's just part of life's fabric, something we all share. We'll all lose people we love, but the love they left behind doesn't dim. Think of your own losses. Maybe a dad whose big laugh still echoes when you tell his favorite joke at Thanksgiving, or a friend whose offhand wisdom still guides you through tough spots, or a spouse whose steady love still shapes how you treat others. They're not here, but they're not gone either. We often think grief is something to beat. Buddhism says no, it's not about getting past it. It's about moving forward with it, carrying their love, their lessons, their spark. Ever notice how a whiff of apple pie, a snatch of an old tune, or a random phrase can bring someone back to you clear as day. That's them still hanging around in your heart, proving love doesn't need a body to stick around. Sure, the hurt's real, but it's also proof of how much you loved. The deeper the love, the sharper the sting. Instead of wishing the pain away, try turning it into gratitude. Less about what's gone, more about what you had. Aging means seeing more loss, but it also means you've had the chance to love big, to connect heart to heart, to carry the spirit of those who've touched your life. So when that sadness sits heavy, remember, love doesn't die. It flows through you, in the things you do, the kindness you share. As long as you've got love to give, those who've left are still with you. They never really go. Final thoughts. Embrace aging with peace. Getting old isn't a punishment, it's a privilege. Every year, every wrinkle, every gray hair is a mark of the life you've lived, the lessons you've picked up, the love you've handed out. Society's always telling us to dread it, to fight it tooth and nail like aging's some shameful thing. But Buddhism flips that. Aging's not the bad guy, it's just life doing its thing. The real trouble comes from fear and fighting it. When we push against change, we hurt. When we cling to youth, we miss out on what aging brings. Wisdom, patience, a deep appreciation for right now. The harder we try to dodge the inevitable, the more we fill up with regret and bitterness. But the second we let go and roll with it, we tap into a calm that runs deep. Take my Uncle Joe, he's 78, moves slow, but he's the guy everyone calls when they need a level head. He says, "I don't miss running around, I like sitting still and really seeing things now." Aging didn't steal from him, it gave him something richer. So, my friend, what'll you do with this? Keep battling the clock or open your arms to it. Dwell on yesterday or cheer for what's still yours today. It's up to you. But if you pick acceptance, if you lean into gratitude, you'll find aging's not the end of the road, it's a fresh start. Carry these ideas with you. Step into your days not with dread, but with peace. Find joy in what you've learned, share your stories, laugh loud, love hard, live full. If this hits home, drop a thought below. Let's walk this path of wisdom and kindness together. And if it feels worth it, stick around for more on living with peace, purpose, and mindfulness. Aging's not the last page of your book, it's just turning to a new chapter. And that next part? It's yours to write.